I'm gonna have a straight up conversation with you guys today because I had a viewer reach out in response to the videos I've been posting. They wanted me to talk about substance abuse disorder, but I kind of wanted to draw toward the violence taking place on the reservation. And then I got to thinking, my personal experience is that most of violent offenses that I've done all occurred while I was intoxicated and under the influence of alcohol. So that leads me to think that a lot of the violence that occurs on the reservation is due to alcohol. Because I've met a couple of guys in jail. These guys are really great guys. And I can't imagine when they get out of jail what's going to happen with them, you know. Fortunately for me, I have a great support system in place and to help me in my recovery, in my journey on recovery. And some people, unfortunately, don't have these resources available to them. So when these guys get out, will they have the adequate resource and support they need to continue with their sobriety as they were inside? You know, if you really take a look at the statistics, substance abuse disorder has claimed more lives than COVID, than diabetes. Diabetes, from my understanding, it's been around, but not as prominent as it is nowadays. You know, due to the snacks. When I was a kid, hot Cheetos was barely coming out. The next thing that came out when I was a child was the liter sodas, Big Slams. I don't know if you guys remember it. Some of you might be old enough to remember it. Now, I was flabbergasted the other day when I seen a kid, probably in their early teens, drinking a 2 liter of soda to themselves as a personal drink. 2 liter of soda. And that's probably got like maybe 30, 40 servings in there if you drink it according to the serving size per container. Yee, man. And the serving size is probably like, what, 8 ounces? And then it's probably got like 33 grams of sugar per serving. Wow. But yeah, so anyways, so diabetes, fairly new. Substance abuse disorder, been around for generations and has claimed more lives than all the other 2, 3 topics that I mentioned. It needs to be more scrutinized by the tribal officials, you know. The behavioral health, I'm not sure how they account for their funding or how they get their funding, but I would assume that they have a log of success rates of clients that come through the behavioral health system. If not, then kind of like shame on them because they should. They should have a record backlogging how many people have left the reservation to go to treatment and has came back and is still in recovery and still working on healing. How many people have came through the program and relapsed and just kind of stayed out there? How many people are succeeding? Might have had a lapse in their recovery, but are continuously working at bettering themselves. You know, so these two things, if we're not monitoring them, how are we going to know for sure what's working and what's not working? We got to take a look at those, right? And healing, you know, we got to address the healing. Healing is not pretty, people. My interpretation when I first heard the word healing was sunshine, rainbows, happiness, and always happy. I didn't account for the little kind of like the stock market's up and down. Every day's up and down emotionally. Now, let's take a look at the statistics of people that were born on meth. Unfortunately, you know, parents tend to get pregnant, and continue to use throughout the pregnancy. Now we have children born to addiction. And some of the people that were born on meth don't have the mental capacity or self-regulation. They either are extremely happy or extremely sad. It's kind of like cattywampus in their day-to-day mental operations. You know, I myself, I'm bipolar. I'm bipolar. I need medication for that. I need medication to handle my bipolar, because if I don't, I might snap and smack somebody, and that's not what we want to do. And being bipolar, it's not just about violence. It's more like impulsive thoughts. So if I'm standing at Circle K trying to pay for gas, I see alcohol, and I'm like, impulse. Hey, go ahead and give me a half pint of some vodka. So now, you know, we see how bipolar disorder can increase your chances of relapsing. And the next thing I got was depression. I didn't know that I'm not supposed to feel sad all the time or feel a sadness slightly throughout the entire day. But I take a mood stabilizer and I take a antidepressant, and that kind of helps me taper out, mellow out, so to say, you know. And ADHD is also another one of the things that I got, you know. And so a lot of the people that were born in 2002 might have ADHD. They might have bipolar disorder. So now these people already have the book stacked against them and need help clinically. Clinically need help. Not saying that getting help clinically is a bad thing, because it's not. Let's put that stigma aside and let's look at it and advocate for getting clinical help. It's all right to go to a doctor and say, hey man, you know, I got PTSD from that. You know, I got PTSD at like what, 11, 12 years old. I've seen some shit that I shouldn't have seen in at 5. You know, I've seen some shit that I shouldn't have seen. I've been through some shit that I shouldn't have been in at that age. You know, unfortunately, but it's been handled. It's being handled. The healing has started. But like I said, man, the healing is the tricky part. The healing is not sunshine or rainbows. It's fucking ugly. It's ugly. But now that I know that it's ugly, I can handle the healing process a little more better, more effectively. But I think I'm going to cut this video off right here, man, because, you know, like I think I touched on some of my personal opinion on a lot of the topic here, you know. And hopefully you got something to say. Say it in the comments. If not, reach out through DM and let me know what your thoughts are on this. But I appreciate it. And thank you to the person who suggested that I make a video on this. I mean, I got to read some more so I can teach some more, you know. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one.